Good evening. I forgot my background music. There we go. Is the volume alright on this one? But yeah, good evening. Hello Pluvium, hello Hooks, hello Circuit, hello Frederick. Greetings, good evening. How we doing? Look at all, yeah, I didn't realise that YouTube had added new emotes. I literally just took a look at them now. My favourite part is the fact that you can now be toxic on YouTube and spam GG. Very cool. I love YouTube enabling toxicity. But yeah, good evening. I hope you're all, god damn it. Thanks for being toxic, guys. Can't believe you'd do this. But yeah, hello. Me when beauty post Kench. Yeah, how are you doing? I hope you're all having a very good night. Hope you're all taking it easy. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh my god. I am actually glad that YouTube added more emotes though. I feel like I feel like you were somewhat limited in ways to emote. Also me when you're why? I think the thing that bugs me the most about YouTube emotes is the fact that you can be. I just realised I have top chat on. I need live chat. Yeah. I don't want anyone to get. I don't want to miss anything because YouTube decided to censor. There we go. Ah, sorry, I just hit my tablet pan. I still have my drawing set up because I've been working on my commissions since I finished stream, so I still have on my tablet and my pen and everything all out. But yeah, no, it annoys me. You can't use other people's emotes in chat. So the only way I could ever have like more emotes on YouTube in my chat is for me to reach. What do they call it here? What do they call? What do they call it when you reach monetization on YouTube? I don't know. I don't know enough about YouTube. Is it partner? I feel like it's partner on YouTube. I don't know if they have a name for it. It might be partner, but I'm not actually sure. It might also just be monetization, to be honest. So I'm not sure. So yeah, that's the only way I'm ever gonna have more emotes, which is sad. But it's fine. But yeah, we are continuing reading the story of Tomoda and Matsunaga in possibly one of the longest short stories I've ever read in my life. Although, I guess that's not really saying much. I feel like I haven't read that many short stories in my life. I definitely have always been more of a novel reader than a short novel, not novella. Is it novella? Is that like a short? Or is that something else? That might be something else. I'm not sure. Either way, it's a very long short story. But we will be continuing with that tonight. I actually discovered something interesting about reading streams. I feel like I found out the reason why my Yo, what is up? God, no, I can't do it. God. Yeah, I'm super... here's my thing, right, about YouTube. I think I have the opportunity here to have my YouTube be a lot more relaxed than my Twitch, because everything just kind of moves a little bit slower here. So no hype. Maybe a low hype sometimes. I kind of went off on a bit of a tangent earlier about robots. What was that? Why did I do? Because your Twitch is so high energy. I mean, okay. Compared to actually like hyper people, I'm definitely nowhere near that. But for me, like my scale of high energy to low energy. Did I miss a fun I kind of went off about robots and robots with arms and made a little edit of the Mars rover Perseverance with a sword. No, I mean, like, wait, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Wait, what? I'm not doing it again. I'm only going on a tangent once a day. But yeah, are you pro or anti? Oh, pro robot. I am pro robot. I am pro robot. I am pro robot having swords. I'm pro robots having axes. I'm very pro robot. I mean, I'm a VTuber. That makes me slightly closer to a robot than not a VTuber, right? They're pro-ro, as we say in the robot fandom. Is there a robot fandom? But yeah, no, I kind of went on a tangent earlier, and that was my equivalent of high energy. But also, I guess the other thing that's like more high energy about my Twitch streams is chat goes a lot faster, and so I have to read a lot faster. So I feel like I have to talk faster, which is maybe not higher energy, but higher quantity. Yeah. The pro rows versus the no rows. Lots of Twitter drama there. The future. Are you hashtag pro row or hashtag no row? I feel like when I say no row, I just think of the norovirus, and that's a different thing altogether. Either way, reading. That is what we're doing. Oh, I wanted to ask the YouTube audience, those of you who come to Cozy Reading Hour, if I did another stream on YouTube, not an ASMR reading one, but if I just did I mean, I know all of you come to my Twitch as well, but still, you guys have decided to follow me here to YouTube, so you have more valid opinions of YouTube. But But if I did a late night YouTube stream, but with a video game, which day would be best? Would it be Tuesday night? Well, yeah, Tuesday night, Friday night, or Saturday night? Yeah, my answer will always be the same. Yeah, no, it wasn't a yes or no. It's a which day would be best. Yeah. But other than that, what were the days? Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. Friday, it's my vote. Friday. Okay. I won't be able to, like, I guess. I'll have to think on it some more, because sometimes I do things on Fridays and Saturday nights. Like, sometimes I, like, you know, spend time with my family. Yeah, I have to do real life responsibilities. Tuesday for me? Okay. Tuesday is also good? Okay. I could technically do a poll, but I don't want to. Anyway, we should start reading. It is past the 10-minute mark by quite a lot. I'm just okay. Anti-Saturday. I see. Okay, right. So, if you have not come to a reading stream before, it's pretty simple. I will be reading from the book that I have written on the side of the screen here. No, this side, this way. I will not be responding to chat while I read, but I will catch up with anything that I missed once I finish the chapter or the story, so do feel free to chat while I talk. And yeah, if you're planning on getting some rest, some sleep, please sleep well, and if you're busy studying or working, I do hope that goes well as well. Yeah, right. Let us continue. I still haven't figured out how to say the name of this cafe, by the way. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Every single time I think I'm saying it differently. Anyway. It was on the evening of the 1st or 2nd of September that I saw Tomoda again for the first time since receiving Shigeko's reply. This time, we met not at the Cafe Plazantin, but at number 27 in Yokohama. I knew I was likely to find Tomoda at number 27. That was my main reason for going there that evening, though I was careful to give the impression that I had just popped out of the house in search of a good time. As usual, I took a taxi from Sakuragicho through Yamashitacho to the front of the French consulate and up Yatota Yazaka Hill, arriving around 9 at the front gate of the old house at the end of its dark and lonely back street. I reached up with my walking stick and rang the bell set high on the gatepost. From outside, the house looked deserted. A faint ringing sounded from a room some distance away on the other side of the tightly locked gate. The house itself remained silent. The sound of the far-off bell was eerie and unsettling, like the sound of a stone tossed into a deep ravine or a ghost moving around inside a deserted house. Eventually, the establishment's Filipino houseboy came out to the gate and removed the iron latch with a heavy clank. He eased the gate back an inch or two and squinted out into the darkness to where I was standing in the light of the lantern that hung from the eaves. Hello? It's me. Oh yes, sir. Good evening. Usually the boy spoke only English, but with me he used his still slightly clumsy Japanese. Once he recognized me, he opened the gate just wide enough for me to squeeze through. Long time no see, sir. It's been too hot for this kind of thing, but I hear a new girl's just arrived. I've come to take a look. Yes, there is one you don't meet yet. I hear she's a real beauty. Yes, I think you will like. His teeth flashed in the darkness, as white as the linen jacket he was wearing. I see I'm not the only one here. The shutters were all closed in spite of the heat, but a single sliver of light escaped from an opening in the dance hall window. Who is it? Not Mr. Tom by any chance? Yes, sir. Only Mr. Tom here tonight. He might like a bit of company. Can we go in? Everything was going perfectly so far. I stepped into the corridor and knocked on the first door on the left, which led into the dance hall. Aha! So here you are at last. I entered the room to find Tomoda wearing a sailor's jacket and relaxing on the divan by the piano. Perched in his lap was a girl called Catherine, in a crimson crepe de chine dress that glowed like fire. Actually, it was only later that I realised how bright the dress was. At first glance it looked quite dark, thanks to the unusual lighting system in the room, which could be set to red, white or blue, depending on the mood of the moment. When I opened the door, the room was awash in a warm red light. After the darkness outside, the soft light was probably just what my eyes needed, but I had other things on my mind, and I flicked the switch to white as I entered. Ouch! What do you want to make it so bright for? Catherine shrieked. She sounded drunk. Catherine was a petite, well-formed girl from England, the youngest of all the girls at number 27, and a favourite with the clientele. Standing in front of her, in a dress of aqua blue georgette, was Rosa. A girl I didn't recognise sat at the piano, wearing a citron-coloured organdy dress. This must be the new Portuguese girl. Her face was perhaps not quite as pretty as Catherine's, but her bare shoulders were uncommonly beautiful. It's all right. Let him have it as bright as he wants. He's come to see something very special tonight. Tomoda's gaze darted between me and the Portuguese girl. Right on target, I said in Japanese. Is this the girl in the photo you showed me the other day? That's the one. Here, I'll introduce you. Tomoda turned to the girl and switched to English. This gentleman here, he said, is the famous writer Mr. F.K. And this is Edna, a beautiful Portuguese young lady who's just come to us from Shanghai. Are you really a writer? Edna got up and came over to where we were standing. One of the most famous novelists in the country, Tomoda said. If you're lucky, he might put you on one of his books. How would you like that? Where were you in Shanghai? I asked. The French concession. Working in one of the cafes? Goodness no, I was a nice girl in Shanghai. So it's only since you came to Japan that you've turned naughty, is that right? Really? Come on, let's have some champagne. A toast to new friends. This was Rosa's idea. Rosa was a thick-set and rather greasy-complexioned older woman whose best years were long behind her. Her arms were as big as my legs. She spoke fluent French and German, but unless I'm mistaken, she was actually a Russian Jew. She was never going to be a popular choice with customers heading to the rooms upstairs, but she made up for this by the skill with which she squeezed drinks out of guests as she made her way around the dance floor bar. Good evening. I turned to find another young woman in white coming down the stairs. Hello, Flora. I didn't know you were here. Things were so boring, I went upstairs for a nap. Boy, bring another champagne glass. Mal has gone off to Hakone with some American gentlemen. He's taken her to stay at the Fujiya. What about Emmy? She's gone away somewhere too to get away from the heat. There's only the four of us left. What is this anyway? Some kind of police investigation? Catherine swung her legs under her chair like a little girl, her champagne glass held high. Of course it is, Tomoda said. Detectives and writers are one and the same. What do you mean by that? I said. You know, always asking questions. sticking their noses into people's affairs. Was he being ironic? He was practically rolling in his chair with laughter. You know I didn't mean it like that. It's just, things are a bit quiet tonight, aren't they? Are you the only customer? It's the summer. This business is dead when it's so hot. It doesn't seem to stop you from coming every night. I'm different. Most people like to get out of town, away from the heat. I'm happier here with the girls. And besides, I like having the place to myself. It's my own private paradise. Everyone else is in the doldrums, and I'm just hitting my peak. I can do whatever I like, and there's no one to stop me. Tom, we finished the champagne. Why don't you buy us another bottle? Rosa was up to her usual tricks. All right. And music. Come on, play us something. Suddenly Tomada lurched out of his chair. He took Catherine in his arms and lifted it into the air. She was still clutching her champagne glass, holding it out of harm's way in one hand, as Tomada stumbled on his heels and began to spin. Catherine's crimson-clad body like a water wheel, champagne glass and all. Wait, Tom, stop it. Let me have my drink, she squealed, pronouncing her words with a sharp edge that no Japanese woman could have produced. Flora sat down at the piano and began to play. Come on, Tom. Why don't you and Catherine dance a tango for us? Your wish is my command. I say, Kay, have you ever seen me dance a tango? I'm not sure I have. Watch and learn. It goes like this. Still holding Catherine aloft, Tomada gave her body one long swing and dropped her to the floor. No sooner had her feet hit the ground than she was up and dancing the tango hand in hand with Tomada. I had seen Tomada dance several times before, and I knew that he danced well, but this was the first time I'd seen him dance a tango. Apart from in films, in fact, I don't think I'd ever seen anyone dance a tango, not even foreigners. I could hardly believe what I was seeing. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would have never have believed that any Japanese, not even Tomada, could dance with such grace and skill. He held the woman's slender body close, one hand clamped tight against her back. His left hand gripped her right, and they lunged forward together, their arms entwined, hips swinging. At times their movements were slow, at other times fast, but no matter how frantic the tempo, her body never left his. They were fastened together, inseparable. She followed his every step, fell in with his every move. If he turned and swirled, she turned and swirled too. They were like two pieces of fabric sewn together to make a single piece of clothing. He the white outer layer, she the red inner lining. It was clearly not the first time they had danced together like this. Tomada seemed to shake off his usual heaviness. His body seemed to lift off the ground as his spirit soared. As they twisted and twirled in time to the music, Catherine's feet hardly touched the floor. She had evidently shaken off all sense of time or place, had forgotten even that she was dancing at all, as she spun and swirled, clinging to Tomada's breast, lost in a daze of intoxication. Their dancing grew wilder and more impulsive. They veered away from each other, one to the left, the other to the right, then came together again. He flung her away from him, caught her at an angle, then brought her upright with just the tip of one finger, raising his arm like a man showing off a big fish he had just pulled from the water. She pirouetted 5 or 6 times on the spot, then fell back again, her face towards the ceiling. Her bobbed chestnut hair hung loose and shone in the light. Her champagne-flushed face turned crimson as the blood rushed to her head. Tomada performed one dance after another, pausing only to gulp down a succession of different drinks between each dance. He was obviously quite intoxicated. He looked nervous and desperate to get drunk as quickly as possible, just as he had that night at the Plaisance Inn. No more, I'm finished. He heaved a sigh and collapsed in a chair. Pulling Flora down on to his knee, he held her close. What are you drinking, Tom? Benedictine. Here, let me try some. Flora held her face under his glass and opened her mouth. She took the cigarette out of her mouth and thrust it between Tomado's lips. Ugh, what kind of cigarette is this? It's so bitter. If you don't like it, don't smoke it. I'll smoke it myself. No, it's alright. Give it back, please. Tomada said, shaking his head and putting on his sweetest, most imploring tone of voice. And then he turned his glassy eyes to look at me. So, what did you think of my tango? It was quite something. Quite something? What's that supposed to mean? Good or bad? Good. Very good. Astonishing. Astonishing. That's more like it. You better have a drink. Oh, I don't know. I've had quite a bit already. Quite a bit. Quite something. It's turning out to be quite a night for you, isn't it? He laughed hilariously at his own joke. Where did you learn to dance like that anyway? It wasn't easy, let me tell you. It's not really something you can study exactly. It's a question of application and practice. I served my time in every cafe, bar and cabaret I could find. When was that? Oh, a long time ago. During your time in the West? There you go again. I've told you before. Unfortunately, I've never been to Europe. But you didn't learn in Japan, surely. It must have been while you were in Shanghai or something like that. Look out, here comes Inspector K again. I had been awaiting an opportunity to steer conversation to a topic that interested me. But with Tomada apparently determined to play the fool, it wasn't easy. Rosa squeezed in next to him and Catherine stood behind them, draping her arms over the back of the chair and holding hands with Flora. Tomada sat contentedly in the middle of this bouquet, occasionally leaning over to pass a drink to one of the girls. But I could tell he was still on his guard. Whenever he saw I was about to speak, he leapt out of his chair before I could ask him any awkward questions. Come on, Flora, dear Pash. Arms stretched wide, he lurched around the room in time to the music. I should probably explain here that this peculiar behaviour was not unusual for him. Tonight was not the first time I had found him clowning around like this. In fact, he seemed to be in the middle of some game or other whenever I came. The girls were partly to blame for the way they indulged his every whim, but the truth was that Tomada seemed to enjoy horsing around like this more than anything else. He loved to be in a crowd, surrounded by noise, with the drinks flowing freely. As far as I knew, he had no regular relationship with any of the girls. He almost gave the impression he wasn't interested in women at all. It was as though he had come just to pass the time. For a while, I suspected there might be something between him and Catherine, but I never found any proof. When I asked the Filipino boy about it, he just shrugged. Mr. Tom is a bit strange. He never has a woman. He likes taking all kinds of photographs and playing games, but that's all. Some people are funny that way. I have witnessed this self-control and unseemingly wild behaviour of his too often in the past to be especially shocked by it now. But there was something almost abnormal about the way he was carrying on tonight. There was more to it than mere exuberance, and the fact that no one was there to hold him back. He seemed anxious and pursued, as though he feared he might be caught at any moment. Was this explanation for his volatile behaviour, his drinking, his recalciousness, and his tendency to jump about the room at every opportunity? Was he trying to escape from something? Now that I thought about it, I realised his antics had started when he saw my face. When I arrived, he'd been sitting quietly, talking to the girls. Something about me terrified him. I seemed to cast a fearful shadow over him whenever I appeared. Tom, what are you doing? Oh dear, Tom's drunk again. Flora had given him a shove and he had landed on his backside on the floorboards. He was slumped like a pot-bellied Billiken doll, his legs sprawled uselessly in front of him. The girls took him by the hands and tried to pull him up, but his belly was too much for them, and he kept slithering back to the floor. Catherine bought a hat from somewhere and put it on his head. Rosa removed her bead necklace and hung it around his neck. He suddenly crossed his legs and began to pose like the great Buddha. At length he managed to get to his feet, clutching at Flora for support and swaying from side to side, still mumbling incoherently about his dance. But if Tomada's tanga had been quite impressive, his interpretation of the Apache was just outrageous. There was a blurred flurry of movement. He seemed to be trying to fling his poor partner in every direction at once, hoisting her aloft and tipping her back like a man practicing his judo moves. Flora's bright red hair blazed across her forehead. Her dress had come undone at the seams, and I caught an occasional flash of bare flesh around her shoulders as she spun. But both the man and the woman around him were too drunk to care about how indecent they looked. The sight of them jabbering away in English and French made me feel as though I was somewhere else, in a bar in Paris perhaps, anywhere but Yokohama, Japan. I was marvelling at the strangeness of it all when I became aware of Tomada calling my name. He came up behind me and grabbed my arm. "I'm drunk, Kay, even more than usual. There's no holding me back tonight. Come on, get up and dance," he slurred. He was speaking English even with me now. A strange hint of aggression lurked in his voice, beneath the cover of his intoxication. "Too energetic for me. I'll leave that kind of thing to you." "I know what's on your mind." There was a glimmer in his eye. He jerked his chin towards Edna. "What do you think, then?" "Not bad." "Amazing, isn't she? I told you so. Anyway, if you're interested, don't let me stop you." Edna sat slightly apart from the group in the corner of the room. She had been toying with a guitar, but she had given up trying to compete with the noise and put the instrument down. She sat with her hands folded gracefully in her lap. As a new arrival, she probably wasn't used to the place yet. I watched her lean back in her chair, lost in thought, her dark eyes fixed on a point in space. In spite of her European clothes, she had a certain seductive quality about her that reminded me of a Japanese geisha. I looked at the swell of her round shoulders. The hands in her lap were the same ivory white as her shoulders. The pink of her fingernails stood out against her pale skin. She has a certain serenity about her that I like. "Well, if you like her, why don't you take her upstairs?" said Tomada. "I assume you'll be staying the night." "I don't know. What time is it? About 11? I glanced at my pocket watch. "Oh, come on. It's not like you got anything to hurry home to." "Alright. I don't mind. But it's not really what I came for." "Ha, why? What's the big deal?" "Actually, there's something I need to talk to you about." I had a reply from Mrs. Matsunaga. I pressed straight ahead before he could change the subject. "No doubt about it," she says. "You're her husband. Despite the photographs, she's still convinced that you and Matsunaga are one and the same person. Must be a woman's intuition or something." "Wait a minute. You'll give me a heart attack. Is this some kind of joke?" The whites of his eyes bulged, as if he was struggling to swallow something stuck in his throat. "I'm not making it up. That's what she said. And that's not all. She wants me to tell her everything about you. Where you're from, what kind of person you are. She wants details." What the hell's her problem? Can't she see we look nothing like each other? And she's still suspicious? It's insulting to you, too. Getting angry won't make any difference. Her husband vanished into thin air. This poor woman's at the end of her tether. Someone like that is going to imagine all kinds of things. "Oh, you're no use. No wonder you're a writer. Show you a damsel in distress and you start gushing sympathy." I do feel sympathy for her, as it happens. Something in her letter appealed to me. The way it was written. So modest and refined. Not like the modern style at all. If I were her husband and I read a letter like that, I'd be back home in no time. "What's stopping you?" I'm sure she wouldn't know the difference. Why don't you write to her yourself instead of making jokes about it? You could give her a few details about yourself, make it clear once and for all that you have no connection to the Matsunaga family. You could send her a copy of your family register. Completely unnecessary. Maybe for you. But what about her? Don't you feel even a little bit sorry for her? I have no sympathy for that woman at all. But if you leave things as they are, she'll become even more suspicious. Doesn't that bother you? She can go to hell. I sent her the photographs and that's the end of it. I want nothing more to do with her. Let's talk about something else. So what am I supposed to do? I don't want to let her down. She's relying on me. Not that there's much I could tell her even if I wanted to. I don't know anything about you either. Tomoda was glaring at me as if I'd just threatened to kill him. What do you mean? You'd tell her more if you could. I would. I've already told her everything I know. Like what? Like I said, everything I know. What we talked about the other night. How long I've known you. The ring. Everything. At the mention of the word ring, his eyes flashed with rage. He raised his hand as if to strike me, and if we'd been alone, I think he really would have. Instead, he started stomping about the room furiously, cursing under his breath. How could you? I should have known. Never trust the Japanese. Drinking buddies have a moral code. We don't go blabbing each other's secrets. Hey, what are you talking about in Japanese? Rosa shouted, her voice thick with drink. This was followed by the voices of one of the other girls. Yeah, shut up! No Japanese allowed. But everything's relative, even morals. I decided it would be even more immoral for me to lie to her. And anyway, at the risk of making you even angrier, I'm starting to think that she might have her reasons to be suspicious about you. What do you mean? Tomoda had been pacing up and down the room, but he stopped suddenly now as if a bullet had hit him. Think about it. We've known each other for years, but every few years you suddenly disappear and I don't see you at all. And the times that you are here match up exactly with when Matsunaga's away. I just didn't notice it until I read her letter. It seemed strange, so I wrote back to her. That's all. Just giving her my impressions. You mean to say you... But Tomoda never got to finish whatever he was going to say. Somebody was playing with the switch that controlled the room's unusual lighting system. There was a click, and the room turned red. Then another, and the room turned blue. Click, click, click. Suddenly, the room was plunged into darkness, and we heard Catherine's piercing voice. If you two don't behave yourselves... Tom, stop talking in Japanese. It's so boring. Yes, Tom, and why do you have to fight like that? You've had too much to drink. It's alright, calm down, nothing's wrong. My writer friend here has been having problem with some crazy woman, that's all. I was just putting him straight on the matter. Isn't that right? Exactly right, I'm afraid. Tomoda started to laugh hysterically, and the lights began to flash again. But in the dazzle that accompanied every flick of the switch, I could no longer make out the expression on his face. Raucousness. Raucousness? Is it raucousness? I'm sorry for disturbing the flow of the story there. I couldn't work out how to say it. A lot of the time I just kind of pretend to know how to say a word. Like with the name of some of the dresses had names. I'm not reading what you're reading. I know that technically I could just make shit up and you wouldn't know the difference, but I actually couldn't think of a synonym for raucousness. I couldn't think of a synonym, so I couldn't just replace it. I have done that before. Sometimes I see myself getting something wrong and I'm like, wait, how can I fix this without arousing suspicion? I appreciate the cozy atmosphere. I must confess, I've always wanted to say increasingly embarrassed things while you read until you're forced to respond. While I do read chat while I read, I can only kind of glance briefly at chat while I read because I have to keep like the flow of reading. If I read chat like really in depth while I read, it makes me like stutter and get kind of more stunted with my reading. I really like this part of the background music. Which part? Which song was playing? But yeah, I have a playlist now specifically for songs for my reading background music. 18 tracks in it. I need to find more though. Not knowing words is some words I very much know, and other words is like I don't know a single one. Something like Fury's reading, so they won't be able to respond to me confessing my. I see. I don't know. Is that embarrassing? Is that if you wanted to say increasingly embarrassing? Is it embarrassing? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't feel like we can fit another. You usually seem embarrassed. That's because I confident. No, it's because I don't know. It's because I don't know how to respond. It's because I never know how to properly respond. Because what is the correct thing to say that you when you appreciate the fact that someone has that kind of in response to me? No, what do you mean? We're in the rom-com timeline? What? Yeah, because it's like when I appreciate the fact that people associate such strong positive emotions and connotations with me. I guess I just wasn't kind of expecting that kind of stuff, I suppose. Just thank you suffices. It's thank you feels like a weird response. Thank you feels very like dismissive. I don't know. Is that just me? Honestly, I don't know. I have a confession to make. Let me put my So, I've been watching Drawfee for a little while now. And I had no idea that two of the people on Drawfee were actually in a relationship and even married until they literally said it on stream that they were married. I had no idea they were dating at any point. I had no clue. I didn't realize. You know, I thought the stuff like saying, oh yeah, he's Julia's lover boy. I thought that was just a joke. I thought that was just bants. I thought that was just, you know, a bit. It's not. It's real. They're real. They're married. Even they did the episode where they created a couple. They were like, oh, the power couple is no longer Julia and Jacob. And I was like, yeah, it's a bit. It's not a bit. They're married. They're fucking married. It's not a bit. I'm very oblivious to this kind of thing. I don't really contemplate until yeah, okay, at least I'm not the only one. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't realize until they literally said, yeah, we got married this year. I'm a very intelligent cat who knows so many things, and romance is not one of them. So yeah, I never know. I don't know what the correct way to act about these sorts of things are. My favourite destinations had a girl on all the time, never really thought about it until he randomly mentioned his wife, and I was like, he's been married the whole time. Yeah, I am completely oblivious to all that kind of stuff. I do not. I do not perceive it. Not intentionally, I just literally it just goes over my head. So I guess responses to things like, oh, I love you is like, oh, like how you love a hobby? Like how you love like your favorite food? Or like I don't know. Sorry, I'm awkward. I'm just a cat. I don't know these things, okay? I'm just a cat. With tubers it's even more difficult. I remember I went into someone's stream. I feel like the opposite once happened. I went into this person's stream and he was streaming World of Warcraft with another guy on voice call, and then I think Havoc was like, oh yeah, he's been streaming with his husband, and I'm like, oh shit, they're married, okay. Apparently I got led astray. I got led astray. They're not actually married. I'm like, what? What do you mean? How am I meant to understand anything if you guys just keep lying to me about whether people are in relationships or aren't in relationships, or are in really serious relationships, or just joking, or how am I meant to know? I'm not. I just don't. I don't know. I've been 2 minutes behind this entire. Oh no, hugs. I have a feeling. Was that confusing? Gaslighting purity for fun? Real. There are people out there. There are other tubers who are just like, you know, be funny. Lying to purity. You know what? They're right. I would lie to me for fun too. Because I'm very gullible. You tell me something, I'll go, yeah. That sounds about right. Sure. Unless I have evidence to the contrary. Let me put my book away. Unconfirmed rumor. I think that #1 Puri fan guy, like, I don't know. #1 Puri fan hasn't come to my streams in like a while. I don't know. I think he's dropped me. I think he might have a new Oshi. Purity is so pure. Who would have? I don't know. I don't know if I'm pure. I'm just dumb. Not me after looking at the other artist from the Skeb. It's like Jeff, huh? Oh, thinking that I'm pure. Listen, don't let one Skeb change your perception of me. I'm just, sometimes I crave blood. And that's okay. It's okay to crave blood. Real. Sorry for the unsay-so. Oh, were you the one apologizing? I don't even know what got taken differently. I'm not gonna ask. It's cute in a different way. It absolutely. Well, I will accept my fate. You couldn't guess it was. I don't know. There might be other people. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. There could be some lurker. There could be some lurker thinking extremely impure, unsay-so thoughts about me. I don't know. There are people that could be hiding their power level. I don't know. I have no idea. Gap Moe. The Puri Gosling army and like lurker is Pluvium's ult. Either way, I try not to assume when someone is anonymous. I try not to assume who they are. So, if you are anonymous, I will give you the benefit of the doubt. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm just vibing to the music, sorry. It's very calming music. Oh, I have to continue working on commissions. I need to finish at least one tonight. I think I'm gonna be able to do it. I'll try and do the same thing. Give people the benefit of the... I don't know how much delay there is. Why do I bounce so much when I blink? Huh. Okay, anyway. I think it's because I have my mic in the way of my face. The tracking for my ASMR streams is always a little bit off, because I have my mic like in front of my face. So really, my tracking can only really see my eyes. The eye muscle is directly all muscles are connected. Real. Or maybe not directly. Maybe not directly. Alright. I think I don't have time to I didn't have time to read another chapter. So this is probably gonna take 2 more weeks, and hopefully by the time we finish this I can have my books so that we can actually decide on another novel to read. Yeah. Fingers crossed anyway. I just need to actually I need to actually go to my dad's house. It's been a long time since I've been to my dad's house. Although actually, how many weeks is it till Christmas? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'm probably gonna see my dad at Christmas. So I don't know if he's gonna come here or I'm gonna visit him. At least one. Yes, it is definitely at least 1 week until Christmas. For real. You'd know if you got that Pokemon advent. Don't talk to me about the Pokemon advent calendar. I got so unreasonably mad about that. I was really happy. I saw it on the website and I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. I really love the idea of a Pokemon advent calendar. And then I read the details and then I got so I got so angry. It's fine. When will my Pokemon trading card game live become real? Not in beta? Maybe never. But it's fine. Oh, speaking of stuff arriving, I got a cutting board. Is that what it's called? I got one of those. I think I mentioned it on stream during the daytime, and it's so huge. I feel like I'm actually gonna end up turning the cutting mat. Yeah, that's it. I feel like I might end up turning the space underneath my desk into my crafting space, because then I can make a kind of I could like hang the camera like off the underneath of the desk, and then that could be my overhead view. But then I'd have to I'd have to like look up like this to read chat. Sitting under the desk, true neat. So okay, it's not neat. I just I don't have a lot of space in my loft room. Thank you. My attic room. It's really cute sounding. Just me sitting cross-legged on the floor, like painting diorama pieces. Wouldn't you kick the crap? Well, I'd tidy it away. I'd tidy it away after stream, or after I've done whatever I'm doing. But I guess it is a risk. It is a risk. And sometimes I do end up with crumbs falling, and that could be unfortunate. I don't have like a table in my room that to do crafts like properly. The only space I really have is my desk. And I don't have room for a table. I think. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't have. Well, I guess if I got a folding table, I could put it on the other side of my room. But then how would I read chat at the same time? Because if my computer's on the opposite side of the room, I don't think the wires are long enough for me to take one of the monitors across. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of hate having to exist in such a small space. I do kind of wish I had a decent room space to do everything that I want to do, and like somewhere to put my pro markers and like to set up my Vive so I could do 3D things. That would be nice, but there is no room in this house. One day we'll crowdfund you a nice farm where you can run around all day. What? What am I to you? Purely fun. Can you put a mortgage on Throne? Yeah. Yeah, just crowdfund me. How much does a house cost? Like 200,000 £200,000, not counting like extra fees. Yeah, at least 300. Okay, I mean it's quite a big house. I hope there'll be sign-ups for 200,000. What do you mean, Lamau? Have house prices gone up even more? Hold on, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna go find how much houses cost. What's a good house website? What do people look up houses on? Houses for sale. Rightmove. Oh, Zoopla. That's the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of Zoopla. Maybe it's different in northern UK. Oh, yeah, it's a lot more expensive in the south. But I live in the middle. Ah, Ryan, hello. Hello. I almost felt like I felt suspicious of a redirect there for a moment. Yeah, hold on. Let's. Okay, I can't show you guys. Obviously for doxing reasons. But yeah, there's like a house for 200,000, 3-bed, semi-detached, with a garden. There's a little terraced house for 220. Yeah, about 200,000. That's that could get me an okay house. I'm gonna move to England now. Yeah, if you don't move, so as long as you don't go to South England. So basically how it works is the closer you are to London, the more expensive housing is. But if you want to go anywhere else, then it's gonna be cheaper. Pretty sure all the homes near me are at least 800. What? I don't live in it. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah. Okay, that's expensive. Yeah, I remember. I mean, I remember when I was first looking at moving out from my dad's house. The cheapest house I could find was 66,000, and it was like a one-room house. Just the upstairs, and it was all just open plan, everything. But yeah, I don't think. Oh my god! Wait, hold on. Oh my god! There's one for 40. Oh my god! I could buy a caravan. Hold on, what do you guys call them in America? Mobile homes? Is that what you guys call them? Trailers? Trailers? It might be trailers, I'm not sure. I could buy one of those for 50k. Hello, Wonderbowl. How you doing? Am I exaggerating this some around? But there's the one bedroom. Oh yeah, but for me, in my experience, the more north you go, the cheaper the houses will get. Oh my god, you can even get. You know what? Yeah, £200,000. That could buy me a house. That's a ridiculous amount of money. I wonder when the housing market will crash. I would like to buy a house for 5 shillings. Miss, we don't even deal in shillings anymore. 5 shillings, my final offer. Miss, it's the 21st century. Can you not? Okay, you forced my hand. 6 shillings. Subathon goal. Oh my god. Oh god, how many? I don't even know how many subs that would be. That'd be insane. No, I have no intent. I honestly, I'm in a very lucky position where my family does own property, and so I'm probably gonna live in this house for probably the rest of my life. But it's very crowded. It's a very crowded house because it has 3 generations of family living in it. So yeah, I'm happy I can live here. I'm very grateful that I am able to be living in this house. But yeah, I just don't have a lot of room. That seems, yeah, it's very crowded. Technically my bedroom isn't legally classed as a bedroom. It's fine. It's fine. I'd like to see the rewards you make up to, oh god, I don't even know what I could do. That'd be 80,000. Yeah, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of, and that's a lot of money. Legally, you got a license for that bedroom? Yeah, no. So you in the UK, your house is a room needs to reach a certain specification before it could be classed as a bedroom, because an extra bedroom increases the value of the property. So if it's not legally a bedroom, then you can't legally advertise it as having that room as a bedroom in the count of bedrooms. Basically. That's my understanding of it, at least. Obviously, I don't know a lot about the housing market because I am just a cat. But yeah, that's what I understand. But that's why I don't even have a real bed. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before. But I actually have I use a camping bed, like a fold up camping bed to sleep. It's fine. Excuse me, you have a license? Subathon for actual bed. Nah, I'll get myself one eventually. Get a real bed. One day I will. One day I'd really like to have a bed with a headboard. I don't think I've ever had a bed with a headboard, or at least not for many years. You're gonna regret putting this off? Why? This is a valid reason to have a subathon. I don't know. I'm not really that comfortable doing subathons. I don't really want people to feel like pressured to like donate anything to me or to buy subs or anything for me, because at the end of the day, right, I feel like I live like relatively comfortably. I hear about people like being in like a lot of debt and stuff, and I'm lucky because, you know, I didn't go to university, so I never ended up with like student loans and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not very comfortable doing that kind of thing. Because you have a spine. I mean, I've been sleeping on this camping bed for, how long have I lived here now? Maybe like 3 or 4 years? My spine is fine. Gamer college is free to play. Oh, college in the UK is free. If you're below a certain age. So if you're younger than, oh good god, oh no, why are they free? They should charge my money. How the fuck do I ban? How do I ban on this website? How do I ban on this website? I don't know how to ban. Ah. How do I kill? Let's just remove the messages one by one. There we go. You can't really ban on YouTube without a lengthy process. You just have to hide from chat whatever the button is. I guess. Wow, YouTube is wild. I'm not used to this website. Reported for promoting terrorism? Yeah. Girls in my city doing what? Girls in my city killing? Maiming? Who knows what they're doing? They're free. They're not in jail. They are free girls committing crimes. YouTube is extremely lacking in moderation. Yeah, no kidding. How did they get free? So it's about free college and bots moved on to the natural conclusion of free girls. Free girls, good for them. Freedom is exactly. Yeah, we had them contained. The girls are free. The girls are free. Anyway, yeah, college, if you're below the age of 19, college is free in the UK. It's university that costs money. So yeah, me going to gamer college, the reason I actually dropped out the second time I went to college was because I was turning 20, and they were like, oh yeah, so it was going to cost you like £500, but after some careful calculations, we have decided that you are going to have to pay up front, with no loan, £2,525. And I was like, you know what? I don't have £2,525 just lying around that I can do that. And because it's not technically a student loan, the banks won't give me that money to do that either. So, I guess I'm dropping out. Bye. Containment breach. The girls are free. Say again, the girls are free. Everyone panic. Let's go. So when British people say they get free college, they're actually saying they got an extra year of high school but called something else. Extra 2 years. Yes. Yeah, so British people finish high school or secondary school when they're 16. And then they can either go into the workforce, they can get a job, they can go into something called sixth form, which is basically secondary school plus. You basically still stay in the secondary school, but you get cool privileges like not having to wear uniform and yeah, that's it. And being able to leave the premises anytime you want. And then college is... It's like uni, but for 16 to 18 year olds and free. But you normally pick you usually pick a specialist subject. If you go to sixth form, you pick 4 different subjects to study. If you go to college, you usually pick 1 or 2. Baby university. And then once you graduate sixth form or college, that's when you apply for university. And normally college and sixth form, they will help you apply to universities. Or some colleges are also universities, and they're basically like they basically just kind of go, yeah, here you go, you can ascend to the higher level now. It's like, cool, thanks. That's my understanding of how it works anyway. But yeah, no, I'm not in any debt because I didn't go to real university because I dropped out of college twice. So yeah, I'm in a position where I'm quite lucky, and therefore that's the reason why I don't really like pushing people to like sub and donate and stuff. Like I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for anyone who does support me. I'm very you know, I hope I never seem like ungrateful. Like I am very appreciative. But yeah, I never want to pressure people. Like if someone I would rather someone spend money on themselves and get themselves something they want than they go, purity, I'm about to be homeless, here's my final £5. It's like, dude, no, please keep it, thank you. You don't have a bed and that's not great. I mean, I've got enough of a bed. I'm not sleeping on the floor. It's just a camp bed. It's not that bad. I made it back before you ended, let's go. Yeah, I've gone on a bit longer. I ended up chatting. I want to spend money on something I want. Well, as long as you... Wow, I love how that gets held for review. Yeah, remember to sub and like and subscribe and ring and press the bell if you want alerts. I didn't have a bed until I was 6. You know, oh, I have a camping like a foldable, like one of the foldable camping beds. It's just because my mum and her parents, they weren't really prepared to like take me, like to have me live with them. They weren't really prepared for me to come live here. But I needed to get away from my dad, so that's why I do live here. Like I had a dad. I had a dad. I had a bed when I lived with my dad. I won't talk about it more, but I think you need to realize how valuable a decent pet is to your heart now. It'll get worse as you get older. It's on my list. It is on my list. It is on my list of things that I do want to get, but it's not like a quick Fury, get a bed kind of thing for me. Maybe look into a futon if you can't find a bed that fits. Oh, maybe. Yeah, that is one of the other problems. A real bed actually doesn't fit in my room. I need a short bed. but not a bloody toddler bed like everything keeps on telling. I try to look a short bed and I'm like, oh, for toddlers? Like, no. Do I look like a toddler to you, internet? Please say no. For the love of God. By futon I mean the actual Japanese floor mattress things. Yeah, I guess what you meant. I guess you meant that. But yeah, maybe an old one. I don't need a toddler. I'm head up to show. Maybe toddler. Oh god, maybe chibi purity. Chibi purity. Now that I have this model, chibi purity does kind of look young. It's just chibi. It's just chibi style. All right. I need to end stream, or else I'm gonna go on like all night. I need to work on commissions and stuff. I got stuff to do. But so we will leave it there for now. But I will keep in mind the stuff about if I stream an extra day on YouTube, and I'll miss you. I'll be back. You can always remember that. I will always return. Okay, so I still can't redirect because I'm baby streamer. In the full, I don't know. In the full, what's the full sense? Maybe I don't. But yeah, have a very good night, everyone. I do believe Numbers might be streaming still, playing Deuce X. So if you want to go watch them, please do. But if you're gonna go head to bed, get some sleep, please rest well. If you're going to, if you're still studying or working or anything like that, I do hope you do that. Finish your work without stress. Yeah, that's the goal. Like, for hand-holding thought, illegal. But yeah, have a good night, everyone. And thank you very much for coming to my reading streams here. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it very much. But yeah, good night. Good night. Onyasumi. Rest well. And I will see you on Sunday on Twitch. Yeah. Good night. Yeah, rest well. You too. Thank you for coming.